Practice started Monday of this week. Our first match will be November 28th with Twin Falls at Twin Falls.
Okay. All right, we rolling? Okay, why don't you square this way, Dick? Here you go. You're fine. First of all, Dick, the major rule change for this year, why don't you talk about that?
I think probably the major rule change is that you can get additional points in a different situation as far as the near fall. You know that you have the 2-point near fall, which is 1 count, or you have the 3-point near fall, which is 5 counts in wrestling. That basically is when one shoulder is on the mat, the other shoulder is within 45 degrees or closer to the mat. This year they've changed that somewhat. If a young man is in a high bridging on top of his head, and his shoulders are even this far off the mat, you know, anywhere from a foot to 18 inches, they're going to start giving a visual count, and that's going to be near fall points, either the 2 or the 3. And also, if he stops the pinning situation with both elbows, they're going to count on that one too. So those are probably the 2 major rule changes as far as the public's concerned. One that they've gone to, that they followed the college from about a year or 2 years ago, is that after the match, the young men will shake hands with each other in the middle of the match, or the middle of the mat, and then they will go back to their respective benches. They don't have to go across the mat and shake hands with the coaches on the opposite side. They've changed that, and I think that's probably a good rule.
Dick, last year Pocatello hosted the state wrestling championships. Do you feel this is a shot in the arm for the area as far as wrestling interest goes?
In the past, when we've had the state tournament here, which has been 3 or 4 times in the last decade or decade and a half, we have always had a better turnout, believe it or not, from this area than they have in the Boise Valley area where they've hosted it. I think primarily because you have a lot of great wrestling schools in this particular area. When you start looking at the Skyline dominance, you look at Snake River and what Coach Keith Williams has done there, you look at the Teton High School, you know, and certainly we're trying to be respectable again in the wrestling area. It brings in a lot of people that enjoy the sport.
Do you feel wrestling is growing in interest and more fans are more knowledgeable about it?
No question about it, every year, and it's becoming more technical, and you have to stay up with it. Yeah, it really is.
Okay. Now let's talk about a couple things you want to show me here with your wrestlers.
Okay, you want to bring in those that 3-point. I'll show you what we're doing. We can just go down on a knee, and she can get control on this. That's it. Yeah, that's fine right there.
We gotta stand. I gotta stay on my elbow.
How's that, Mel?
Once you go ahead and roll. Roll?
No, you.
We're rolling.
Okay, so Dick, you want to show us now what the new rules changed?
Okay, yeah. One of the basic rule changes that they have this year is normally you had to have one scapula down, okay, and the other one within 4 inches or 45-degree angle. Usually referees always been able just to shove their hand in a perpendicular movement in order to be able to give the count for the near fall points.
So that is a near fall?
That's a near fall.
That's
right.
1 point?
That a near fall is 2 points. You have a predicament, which is 2 points, and near fall they've kind of gone away from it. Now you have 2 near falls. You've got a 2-point near fall and a 3-point near fall. If he were to hold Corey in this position, and then Corey, okay, I come down as a referee and I go 1, 2, 3, roll out 4. Okay, I only got to 4 counts. See, I didn't get to 5. That's still only 2 points. Now, if he holds him back there and he goes, he's held there, I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and he holds him. Now he comes out. Now I hold 3 points. And as soon as he faces back up, then as a referee, if the defensive man happens to be green, I'll say, 3 points green, or I'll go to an armband. A lot of referees will have the red and green armband. Okay. Okay, you want to go through the drill change now? This angle? Yeah. Can you get him there, or do you want him? Okay. Say all that again? Okay, I'm not going to tell that. I'm just going to tell about the rule. Yeah, jump in. Okay, now basically the rule change for this year will be that near fall points can be scored from this particular position, which is above the 45-degree angle and without a scapula touching the mat. Before, in years past, you had to have at least one shoulder down and the other one within 45 degrees to get your near fall points up 2 or 3 points. So if the offensive wrestler, Mike, would hold Corey, the defensive wrestler, in this position for a full count up to 4 counts, that's a 2-point near fall. If he holds him 5 counts or more, it's a 3-point near fall. The other one that goes along with that is simply the same situation, only in a high bridge. Now his shoulders are above 4 inches, which is a normal near fall situation. But if they're in a high bridge or on both elbows, the referee can start counting and give the points.
Okay. Back to the old rule, Dick, when you were talking about the scapula being down, the other one at 45. Right. Is that? Yeah, exactly. All right. Dick, for people who don't know much about wrestling, including yours truly here, tell me, the takedown and reversal, I want you to talk about them a little bit. How are points scored?
Okay, basically both wrestlers will start up on their feet in a 10-foot circle area, and they'll be only a foot across from each other when they shake hands, after they shake hands before the match is started. When the offensive wrestler takes the defensive wrestler, well, actually you don't know which one's the offensive wrestler until he's in control. Soon as one wrestler takes another wrestler to the mat under control, he's awarded 2 points takedown. Now the bottom wrestler becomes a defensive wrestler and the top wrestler is the offensive wrestler. If the defensive wrestler comes out and faces the offensive wrestler, he's awarded 1 point escape. If he comes around and assumes a position behind the offensive wrestler at that point, he's gained a reversal and control of the offensive wrestler. Now he's receiving 2 points for reversal.
Does he become the offensive wrestler?
He then becomes the offensive wrestler, right. You pick it up very quick. And I think as far as the predicament points or near fall points, you can score 2 points near fall or 3 points near fall. The distinction there being if you have 1 full count on a near fall, then it's 2 points. If you have 5 or more counts without pinning the wrestler, then it's 3 points. Go ahead.
Well, the goal is to pin, right?
Yes, the goal is to pin. That's right, yeah. If you have, in wrestling as far as a duel, if you win by a major decision, which is 8 points or more, you receive 4 points for your team. If you win by a superior decision, which is 12 points or more, then you receive 5 points. And if you win by a pin, you receive 6 points. If you win by the score of 2-1 or 3-2 or whatever, just by a normal decision, then you only receive 3 points.
What is the definition of a pin?
A pin is when you hold both shoulders in contact with the mat for a 2 full count in high school wrestling. 1001, 1002, and they'll slap the mat.
Okay. All right.
I have a question for you over here. I like this much better quotes as one of you that you know about wrestling. There's always been kind of an in-between sport or received on.
Okay.
Now, what's that again about? I didn't hear.
Oh, she wants me to re-ask you another question I asked you over here.
Oh,
okay.
I wasn't doing very good.
You let me know when, Val. All right, Dick, are we seeing an explosion in interest in wrestling in this area due to the success of local schools?
Dave, I don't know whether, we would consider it as an explosion, but certainly the interest in our local area has always been stronger than probably any other place in the state. The 5th and 6th District has been in control of wrestling as far as placement in the state for several years. And I predict that the same thing will probably happen again this year, looking at the teams that we have with Snake River, Skyline, Highland, ourselves, and so on.
I'm fascinated by this sport because it's not only a team sport, it requires the most individual effort probably of any sport that I've seen.
I think that that's a proven fact. Certainly wrestling and boxing are 2 of the more physical sports as far as a young man getting in shape for and preparation for. And we enjoy that. We always try to tell our wrestlers that wrestling is an individual effort that ends up in a team score, which basically it is.
Takes a lot of heart, doesn't it?
Takes a lot of heart. We talked about that last night in practice a little bit. We can coach the techniques and the moves and so on, but the one thing that we can't coach is a heart. They have to have that. You're right. The best thing to do is just to, make sure that your joints are good and loosened up, flexible. Knees, we try to roll them out. When we stop here and stuff, we'll roll out the ankles, the knees, we roll them out. We do a lot of bridges for the neck and stuff, but we won't get you in that heavy of a situation.
Okay.
What I'll do is have Philip take John down, and then John will reverse Philip, and then Philip will escape from John.
Okay.
Each one of them being a point, okay? Okay, you're rolling? Okay, there's a double leg takedown. He has control of his wrestler on the mat.
Was that 1 point?
That's 2 points.
That was 2 points.
Now John comes around with a power switch.
Wasn't that a reversal?
That's a reversal for 2 points.
Okay.
Now they're on their feet, but John still has control. Now Philip's out and faces him, so there's 1 point escape. So the score at this particular point would be 3-2 in favor of Philip, the wrestler with the headgear on.
I see. Okay. Boy, it happens so quickly, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
So that
Yeah.
ref has to be...
Referees have to be right on top of it. Okay, John gets a double leg takedown, takes Philip to the mat, 2 point takedown. Philip comes back with a power switch, 2 points reversal. John comes out, 1 point escape. Scores 3-2.
Okay.
Okay, the arm, that's good. Let him power you right on over, chest to chest. Okay, there's where the pinpoints are coming in.
Now, isn't that the near fall right there, too? Okay.
Drive your left shoulder in. There it is. See, now he's down into towards the pinning combination. The referee's got to be down here counting, but he's also got to get over here.
Off again.
The referee does is he'll just hold 3 fingers right here. He'll just hold 3 fingers down, and he'll wait until John bases back up before he gives a point, or Philip pinning to bridge out or to fight that pin off. Most of the times they'll go down. Usually they can fight it off for 30, 45 seconds, but then pretty soon they...
The pin.
Whatever, and we probably expect a little more in some of the smaller.
Walk into work every day.
Extent that it has been.
Joe Connolly, you wrote this week about the announced resignation of Mike Harcourt, the